Astral Aegis, written by Sylvac. Chapter 2. Questions. Sweet Celestia, I hope my ears aren't bleeding, I thought to myself as I felt my ears ringing after Pinky's scream. It was so loud that I was even willing to bet that every pony in Ponyville felt it. To make things worse, Pinky was running her mouth off still. That until she suddenly vanished, not even leaving a cloud of dust in her wake. All the while I just sat there blinking until the ringing in my ears slowly faded away.
Did any pony hear what Pinky said after she screamed?
I asked as I looked at Twilight and Fluttershy only to see them rubbing a hoof against their ears as well.
Sorry, I didn't hear a thing,
Fluttershy answered.
No, though I never thought Pinky could be that loud,
Twilight replied.
Should I be scared then of what Pinky might do?
I asked as various scenarios went through my mind.
What could Pinky do that you would be scared of? Well, she has a kind of devotion to parties that few ponies have. And since she screamed that loud,
I answered as I waved the hoof around, inviting speculation.
I see your point, but I'm sure Pinky wouldn't do anything to hurt you. She nearly choked me to death a while ago. To hurt you on purpose.
Sighing, I replied.
I know, just we both know how carried away she can be, and remember when she planned on giving me a birthday party that is like 14 of them combined? That alone sounds like it could be massive, but if she plans on a party to make up for my entire former life?
Twilight was about to respond when she stopped herself, her face taking on a contemplative look. You have a point there, but something like this occurred during Rainbow's birthday party. I'm confident that Pinky won't do anything over the top to you.
I'll take your word for it then, though I would feel better if some pony kept an eye on her. I have a distinct feeling that I may be shot out of her party cannon tomorrow. Well, Fluttershy, can you go check on Pinky to make sure she doesn't go overboard?
Twilight asked.
Try to get Rainbow to help you, you might need her speed.
I dryly commented. Fluttershy looked nervous, probably due to having to deal with a crazier than normal Pinky, but she replied.
I'll try.
As Fluttershy took off, I realized that this meant that I was alone with Twilight. Turning my head towards her, I saw that Twilight already knew that I would figure this out as she gave me a sheepish smile. I sighed.
Fine, teleport us to the library.
Eee! Twilight squealed to my discomfort as we were engulfed in a flash of light appearing in the library where I spotted Spike sweeping the floor. At our appearance, he instantly dropped the broom while giving us a look of relief as he said, Twilight, you're all right? His look of relief turned to confusion as we both watched Twilight quickly move around the library, grabbing various quills, scrolls, and notepads for the upcoming questioning. Aether, is this related to your culture?
That and more. You might want to take a seat for this, for what you will hear will be surprising, disturbing, and outright strange.
I answered as I walked over to the table to wait for Twilight to be done. Okay, Spike said as he took a seat on the side.
Though I will tell you something important first, but I want you to remain calm. I don't want you running off in a fright, fainting, or setting me on fire,
I announced as I gave him a serious look. I don't think anything you could say can get me to freak out, and why would I set you on fire? We're friends, Aether, I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. I kept up my expression, remaining silent for a moment before I replied.
Spike, I'm an alien.
At first, Spike just stared at me. Then he started to laugh as he said, "That's a good one, Aether." He continued to laugh until he finally noticed that I wasn't laughing with him. He looked at my face to see that I still held my serious look, which caused his eyes to widen as his breathing began to quicken. This led to me changing my look to a deadpan one, though after a moment his breathing slowed down as he began to calm down.
Good. For a moment there I thought I was going to need to run into the kitchen sink.
I dryly commented. Sorry about that, but why did you think I would set you on fire?"
Because I told the Crusaders about the truth earlier and they panicked first before charging at me.
Oh. Wait, does that mean my idea about aliens invading was true?
Half true. More like aliens and alien stuff was accidentally showing up. Though there might have been an alien invasion. Before you freak out though, that was prevented.
That's a relief. Wait, why didn't you tell any pony that you were an alien?
No pony asked.
I answered with a shrug, which Spike gave me a deadpan look in response. Okay. Hey, if there are alien ponies, are there alien dragons too?
I wasn't a pony before I appeared here, Spike.
Oh, then what were... Spike started to say before Twilight dropped a stack of notepads on the table, taking a seat across from me.
Yes, you didn't tell any pony what you were before!
Twilight shrieked, her eyes showing her unrestrained excitement.
So, I take it you want me to tell you what I looked like before?
I cautiously said, to which Twilight gave an excited nod in response.
So, you want me to draw upon my memories of the species I belong to, one that is dying out, one that lost its world to interdimensional organizations forced into the bottom of a society, a species that lost all hope to survive.
As I said those words, Twilight's face became more and more downcast at each fact I brought up. After I finished, Twilight said,
"Okay, you don't have to think about that, but can you still tell me other things about your past life?" Sure, just don't ask me about my past life for now. All I want to say about that is that for the last 14 years I ate paste and had a terrible job.
Okay, wait, can you tell me what that
paste is made of? No idea.
After a long pause, Twilight asked,
You ate something that you had no idea what could be in it? Yeah, but remember I was poor, so it was either paste or garbage.
Twilight suddenly turned a bit green, putting a hoof over her mouth to hold back her breakfast.
Could it be possible that there was meat in that paste?
Shrugging, I answered,
Maybe, maybe not. Depends if it was cheap enough for whoever made it to include meat.
Spike gagged a bit at what we were talking about, even sticking a finger into his mouth as some gesture that caused Twilight to say,
Spike, don't be rude.
That caused me to chuckle, the other two looking at me in confusion.
That wasn't rude to me, Twilight. That paste tasted terrible, barely above the taste of rotten food. Anyway, Spike, feel free to do the sort of thing you were doing. Odds are that you'll probably even show the feelings I had on the matter.
Okay, Twilight said, her face still a bit green.
But why would any pony let so many species be so poor? 'Cause the ponies on top don't give a... well, they just don't care. I think they only see things for the money and see the poor as a cheap answer to some problems they have to deal with.
But you mentioned probes. Wouldn't it be cheaper to use probes than paying ponies per trip?
Probes are normally used for quick scans of a world and aren't cheap to produce. Honestly, it's probably due to the public not being comfortable with just... Hey Spike, mind getting me a glass of apple juice? My throat's a bit dry right now.
Sure, Aether, Spike replied as he got up and headed to the kitchen. Once he's out of earshot, I quickly said in a low voice,
My thoughts are that the public don't like seeing species being randomly wiped out. It's something the venonites do regularly, and no pony wants to be associated with them. So instead, they post some new stuff as they take over worlds, taking over all the world's resources while forcing natives onto terrible land they can't survive on. This forced them to change their ways or fight back and get killed. Anyways, I think the organizations use the large labor pool of poor for dimensional exploration to get rid of us.
My suspicions caused Twilight to look at me with a hint of horror on her face as Spike made his return. Giving him my thanks for the drink, he took his seat as he gave Twilight a confused look. Twilight, what's wrong? Shaking her head, Twilight put on a fake smile as she said,
Nothing, Spike, nothing at all.
Lighting her horn with her magic, she began to take notes, albeit with a grimace on her face.
You mentioned the venonites before, and by the sounds of it, they are another species. Can you tell me about them?
I gave Twilight a wary look before taking a deep breath.
Fine, you might as well know now since they might be relevant in the future. Though for our sake I hope that never comes to pass. Venonites are true monsters. They have no remorse, no care, only hate. Whenever they appear on a world, it either takes the entire dimensional community to stop them, or the world is lost forever. What's worse is that they spread through their bite. Once a pony is bitten by a venonite, they turn into one. The process is very painful, to where it drives a pony insane to the point they are nothing more than a mindless animal once they fully become a venonite.
You mean they are like zombie ponies?
Spike, there's not such things as zombie ponies.
Twilight scolded.
What's a zombie pony?
I asked, tilting my head in confusion. They're ponies that walk around real slow, groaning and saying brains as they hunt down ponies to eat their brains. The worst part is that when you get bitten by a zombie pony, you become one too, Spike explained. As Twilight face-hooved at Spike's explanation, I could only raise an eyebrow at the absurdity of it.
Okay, as weird as that sounds, you do have a point about the bite though.
Wait, if the venonites are feral, how could they know how to travel between dimensions? Twilight asked.
No idea, they just do it somehow. There are many ideas on that, like maybe there's smarter venonites behind it, or maybe another species are using them to, even they just have some natural ability to do it. No pony really knows much because we only got our hands on those that got turned into venonites. Sorry Twilight, but beyond that they are an interdimensional menace, no pony knows much else about them.
Okay, Twilight said as she bit her lip in frustration from the lack of information.
Can you tell me about the other species that exist out there then?
Groaning to myself, I prepared myself to answer Twilight's questions, though I had a feeling that I won't be able to satisfy her curiosity anytime soon. This is going to be a long day. And that's the second episode, everybody. The second chapter, done and dusted. Thank you all for enjoying this wonderful story with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye!